Thanks for joining us and welcome to PO Sports Talk. I'm Ed Gotwals along with Mike Miller and Colin Stevens. It's just about time for the winter sports season to begin, so I guess it's fitting that we're going to have snow supposedly scheduled to fall tonight. We only have 2 days until the winter season starts. First games and matches are Friday, so we thought we'd give you a little bit of a preview of what to expect. Mike Miller will handle the boys basketball, and that starts off with an unfortunately sad note.
Yeah, the Chambersburg Trojans are going to be without their star point guard or star guard, Skylar Roman, this season. Tore his ACL on Saturday in a practice, non-contact injury. Partially torn MCL. He's going to miss the rest of the season, so that's a big dent in the Trojans' plans. That really changes everything for them because obviously last year there were times when he just carried that team and carried them right into the districts and into the states. So that's going to be a big loss for Chambersburg. And unfortunately, they lost a lot of other veteran experience last year in Kyle Patterson and some others. So really, not only are they missing leadership, they're also missing some size also. Of course, they do have junior Mitch Stahl, 6'8" forward, who's going to be plugging up the center for them this year. But, it's going to come down to the guard play. Guys like Tay Charles and Kellen Williams also stepping up at the 1 and 2 positions. But really,
there's a lot of scoring to replace.
Exactly, yeah. Like I said, last half of the season, it was pretty much all Skylar Roman at times, and he just put the team on his back, and that's just a huge loss. He'll still be with the team. He's the captain. He's still going to be hanging around in practices and games, but it's just not the same having your leader, your floor general out on the court. But you look down the road in Greencastle, they got a lot of guys returning this year. They should have a pretty nice run into districts and beyond. They return Denver and Denton Cordell. Also have, of course, they're suffering some injuries too. They're missing Austin Scott, who he had a big injury during the football season, so that's going to hurt the Blue Devils. But they had a nice run last year into districts.
Yeah,
and
they had a real exciting win at Susquehanna Township, I remember.
Yeah, so I think while it might be a little bit of a step back this season for Chambersburg, you look down at Greencastle, they should have a nice season down there with some of their returning veterans in leadership. They also have big 6'10" Brandon Puffenberger, who I'm looking forward to see his development this season as a center for the Blue Devils. So, and we go over the mountain. We have Southern Fulton also. They're coming off a District 5 championship, their second consecutive District 5 championship. They're going to be missing, obviously, Ryan Harper, who was their leading scorer, averaged almost anywhere between 15 17 points last season. So
he got the clutch points, though.
Yeah.
He did.
Absolutely. He was a sort of like a Roman guy who can put the team on his back and just sort of, he took them pretty far. That's not to discredit some of their other guards and other players. They are a little bit of an undersized team, but they have some guys who can step up and play this season.
They just have a good program.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every year they're there.
Yeah, head coach Ken Hendershot, he's been our coach of the year 2 years running now. He's been there a long time. Has a great record of success for the Indians. So I'm looking for another big year for them. Of course, their one weakness will be height, which it seems to usually be for them.
Yeah,
but
I think maybe Phantom Metal might be decent this year too, because they certainly do have height. They don't have anybody really tall, but they got a bunch of guys that are 6 feet and up. So I think they'll be respectable too.
By and large, around the area, it just seems like a lot of teams they're missing some of their their veterans from last year, some experience. A lot of these teams are going to be young. You look at Shippensburg; they're missing Derek Boone and Derek Mills this season, who were their two big guys from the guard position last year. They're going to be a young team, as will James Buchanan and Waynesboro, who is unfortunately have 2 wins over the past 2 seasons. So it could be at times a bit ugly around the area in basketball, but we'll see how it shapes out. The season. I'm excited for the season. I'm excited to see how things shape out, and just go from there.
Colin Stevens took care of most of the girls' basketball previews, so let's turn it over to him and get his thoughts.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. I think there are definitely going to be some strong basketball teams this season. Shalom might have the most improvement of anybody. They didn't get to play a full schedule last season because they just didn't have enough girls come out for the team. But this year they're playing more games, and they're already off to a fast start. Got a win this week. So Shalom would be, I think, a team on the rise this season. Then looking at Chambersburg, they returning a lot of, 3 of their 4 top scorers are coming back for the season, so that's going to be big for them. And you want to watch out for Brittany Hickey and Marche Ryan. Coach Rose said that the team really runs through them. So as far as they can go, as well as they do, is how Chambersburg is going to run. They're an undersized team, so they're going to have strong guard play, and they want to play.
Because in that league, they need some height. That's going to be a factor. In their league, yes.
Okay, yeah, so then they want to play a quick game, and that'll definitely play to their advantage. In Shippensburg, they're returning a lot of their top players. Coach Megan Carr, she's one of the top coaches in the area, and she's going to be able to bring the best out of that team.
They've been building for this for quite a few years, because when that team was together in middle school and junior high, they won like everything. And then they had a pretty good year as a sophomore. Last year they're 18-5. So this year's kind of the year they've been pointing for a long time. Unfortunately, they're Quad A. If they were AAA, I think they can really do some damage in playoffs. But they still might be able to do something in Quad A this year.
Anybody else you think, Ed, to watch out for this season?
I think Greencastle has like everybody back just about. They got a new coach and a new system and everything, but I think they'll be pretty decent too. But they're in Shippensburg's league, so that'll be a big challenge for them. Not sure about anybody else. Southern Fulton is pretty much always good, so just like the boys, and they have, they even won a state game last year, so I think a lot of experience back. I think they'll be pretty good too. As far as wrestling, we have 9 of the 11 PO first team All-Stars last year were underclassmen. Now only 8 are coming back because Chambersburg's Dawson Peck, because similar to Skylar Roman, is out for the season with an injury. He had an injury to his elbow earlier this year, and he's pretty much out. But that means 8 of the top 11 kids are back, so that means there's a really good chance there'll be some good postseason wrestling. I think Chambersburg is going to be pretty fun to watch this year. They've got 2 kids back who placed at states last year. Garrett Hammond was a runner-up, and Tanner Shook took 5th, and they're both back as juniors, so we got 2 more years of them yet. I think there's going to be an awful lot of exciting wrestling going on. We have the Myers brothers, Trevor and Todd from James Buchanan, and Austin Tucker's back there too. Shippensburg's Carrie Hess should have a really good year at heavyweight. Greencastle's Cody Carball showed a lot of talent last year. And I think Waynesburg's got a pretty solid team too. So I expect for a really, really exciting year. I'm looking forward to see how things work out. So again, thanks for joining us for PO Sports Talk. Enjoy the games this week, and we'll see you next week.